You know, for a lot of years we do demos and you'd see somebody lurking about and you'd ask them if they'd want to try it out and they'd jump in the chair and they usually had a longer second toe. Today I'm going to talk about longer second toe. And a lot of people have a longer second toe. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a defect. It's basically a genetic variation. Now, it's, as I put it, something you can blame on your parents and get away with. What it is not the toe bones themselves. You know, we can see here, this is a longer second toe. But it's actually the bones in the foot. The bone in here is longer than the bone here. So what that means is because this bone is longer, it's going to push the toe up. That'd be all right if we were out in the wild and there was no shoes and so forth. But since we're in, modern civilization, shoes put pressure on what they call the longitudinal arch, or the long arch. And so shoes put pressure in here. What that has an effect on is it locks the foot right in about here. Now a lot of people, what you'll see is a bump in there. And that bump is basically what's happened is a bone is pushed up. And it locks straight across this part of the foot. And so the foot, instead of being able to turn in and out easily, tends to lock. When we take a footstep, what happens is when we initially hit the ground, it's unlocked. Then the foot locks to roll forward. Then it unlocks to make a little train adjustment. And then it locks to lift the toes off. And so that all occurs in one footstep. Unlocked, locked, unlocked, and then locked again. Unfortunately, when you have a longer second toe, and because of shoe wear and flat surfaces and things like that, you're going to tend to be locked all the time. And so the foot, instead of being like a shock absorber, is going to be more like taking a board and whacking it on the sidewalk. You get all this reverberation going up through the foot and the leg and so forth. And it can actually break bone along the way. Little microfractures will occur along the shins and so forth. And those will heal over, they'll fracture again, and so forth. And that's when you start to have real problems in the feet and the legs and that type of thing. And so what can happen is after a long period of time, the energy level will just drop and stay down. So a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I say, well, were you highly energetic when you were a child? And they'll say, oh yeah, or even older, even into adulthood. And they'll say, yeah, I was always going. Then suddenly I started dropping, and then now I hardly have any energy at all. So it's very common to have that go on. The reason why that's going on is that they're locking right over what we consider the pancreas area.
Okay.
Because they're locking in here, the pancreas area is going to be on the bottom of the foot. So if you look at a reflexology chart, you'll see the pancreas and adrenal glands. And so they're locking right over those two organs. And so when that happens, that's when they start to feel sudden drops of energy, eventually leading into where they're just tired all the time. So what are some solutions for de-stressing the foot with a longer second toe? A simple way to de-stress the foot is to roll the foot on a foot roller. It breaks up the pattern of stress that forms during the day. Station where you're going to be, like at your desk or easy chair. It's easy, it's simple, and it's pretty cheap. Remember, the key to dealing with stress is to interrupt it and to do it frequently. If you can roll the foot on a foot roller several times a day, that's more effective than trying to do a whole bunch at one time. I recommend calf stretches to all my clients. The reason is that the calf is trying to pull the foot flat, and the foot muscles are trying to maintain an arch. Calf stretches loosen both the calf and the foot at the same time. Here you see a pretty simple calf stretch with your one foot behind, your one foot in front, and you just want to feel that pull within the muscle. There's a lot of variations on this. This is one of the simplest one. You can just get us, on a stair or some elevated type of thing, put one foot back and just, again, stretch it so you can feel that nice even stretch in the muscle. Here's another variation I like to do. You just simply get both feet. You put your forefoot on the front of the step and then drop both heels. It's not really superior. At times it just feels really good to stretch them simultaneously. Now, one thing about this is that you don't have to spend any money on this. It's just something you can naturally do and can pretty well do it anywhere you want. So get out there and stretch and see what it'll do for you. Of course, if you like gadgets, this is a gadget you can use for stretching. It actually comes in two versions. One is for 1 foot and the other is for both feet. And I don't know if it's superior, but it does feel good because it kind of keeps the foot in a position and allows you to get a really deep stretch. And again, the double one doesn't really give you any superior kind of advantage, but it does feel good. This technique I like to call rock and roll. It's very simple. You stretch your feet about shoulder width wide, bend your knees a little bit, and then you simply rock side to side. And what it does is it breaks up the pattern of stress in the feet and also strengthens the lateral muscles, side muscles that don't get used. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want further information, you can visit our website at www.reflexology-research.com. And we'd love to hear your feedback.